Forests are among the most fascinating and mysterious landscapes on Earth. When we walk along their trails during the day, we notice birds singing, the rustle of leaves in the wind, or the sound of a squirrel scurrying up a tree. Yet when the sun goes down and humans retreat, the forest reveals another side of itself, darker, wilder, and much harder to imagine. For centuries, people told stories about strange creatures moving through the night, glowing eyes in the shadows, or giant animals slipping silently through the trees. Until recently, most of these stories were nothing more than tales and legends. But with the arrival of camera traps, infrared lenses, and night vision recorders, the secrets of the wilderness have started to surface. And what these cameras reveal is often far more astonishing than anything we expected. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, researchers studying jaguars placed motion-activated cameras along hidden trails. Jaguars are powerful and elusive cats, able to vanish into thick jungle without a sound. For weeks, the cameras remained still, recording nothing but branches swaying and the occasional bird fluttering past. Then one night, a jaguar appeared. Its golden body, marked with black rosettes, slipped into view, muscles rolling under its coat as it walked with silent authority. But this wasn't the end of the story. Minutes later, the cameras recorded something else: an ocelot. Smaller, slimmer, but just as stealthy, the ocelot moved carefully through the same path the jaguar had just taken. At first, it seemed like chance. But the footage revealed a pattern: ocelots often waited for jaguars to leave before using the same trails. They were watching, learning, and timing their movements to avoid trouble. For scientists, this was an incredible discovery. It showed that predators didn't simply compete blindly. Instead, they shared the forest like tenants in a crowded neighborhood, each aware of the other's schedule and boundaries. The cameras revealed a hidden agreement of survival, a silent negotiation played out night after night. Thousands of miles away, in the forests of Eastern Europe, villagers whispered about pale figures drifting through the trees at night. Hunters described seeing white bodies vanish as quickly as they appeared. These legends inspired centuries of folktales about spirits and guardians of the woods. When modern wildlife cameras were finally set up, the truth emerged. They recorded deer unlike any others, pure white, glowing in the moonlight. These were albino deer, born with a rare genetic condition that stripped their coats of color. Under natural light, they looked like living phantoms, explaining why people believed the forest was haunted. Even though science explained their existence, the footage did nothing to weaken the sense of magic. Watching the video of a white deer stepping quietly between trees, its breath visible in the cold air, was enough to make anyone believe in legends again. Across Asia, particularly in parts of India and Thailand, locals often reported deep, resonant calls echoing through bamboo groves. Some believed the sounds came from drums, others thought of spirits. Few ever suspected the truth. Cameras hidden in these groves revealed herds of Asian elephants moving silently at night. Despite their massive size, the elephants walked with astonishing quietness, their padded feet barely disturbing the forest floor. The recording showed mothers guiding their calves with soft nudges, older elephants scouting ahead, and young ones splashing in muddy pools. One of the most haunting moments came when the herd suddenly stopped. Several elephants turned their heads directly toward the hidden camera, trunks lifted as if sniffing the air. It was almost as though they sensed the silent observer, reminding us that even when we watch the forest is watching back. Not all creatures caught on camera were mysterious or ghostly. Some were playful, even funny. In North America, for example, black bear cubs were recorded tumbling down slopes, wrestling with each other, and climbing trees awkwardly before sliding back down. Their mothers watched patiently, occasionally stepping in to separate rough play. In the same forests, white-tailed deer appeared in front of the lens, cautiously sniffing the camera before darting away. On rare occasions, raccoons approached the lens directly, standing on two legs and pawing at the device as if trying to understand it. These moments reminded researchers that the forest isn't only about survival, it is also about curiosity, family, and play. The first round of footage from forests worldwide taught scientists and nature lovers the same lesson: life in the wilderness is layered, structured, and deeply interconnected. From jaguars and ocelots negotiating silent boundaries to albino deer inspiring centuries of myth, from elephants moving like shadows to mischievous raccoons testing cameras, every recording added a new piece to the puzzle. The forest was no longer just a backdrop of trees. It was a living society, full of personalities, strategies, and secrets. And the cameras were only scratching the surface. Shadows in the Wilderness is just the beginning of this story. What we have seen so far are glimpses, fleeting appearances of creatures who step into the light only for a moment. But behind these glimpses lies a far greater drama. Predators stalk prey. Rare creatures emerge where no one expects them. Strange visitors cross paths in the night. And somewhere in the darkness, secrets remain untold. The forest is not only a place of beauty and mystery, it is also a battlefield. Every tree, every clearing, and every riverbank hides stories of survival. For every animal grazing peacefully, there may be another waiting in the shadows. For every creature that escapes, there is a predator calculating its next move. When cameras are placed in the heart of the forest, they capture not only the wonders of wildlife but also the raw reality of the struggle between hunter and hunted. One of the most chilling sequences of footage came from North America. A motion-triggered camera caught a lone coyote trotting along a trail, sniffing the ground as it searched for food. To most viewers, this seemed like an ordinary scene. But moments later, a much larger shape appeared, silent, deliberate, and terrifying. It was a mountain lion. Known also as a cougar or puma, this big cat was almost invisible in the dim light. With each step, it moved closer, its muscles tense but fluid, eyes fixed on the coyote. The coyote had no idea it was being followed. The video revealed just how patient and calculating predators can be. The mountain lion did not rush. It waited, tested the wind, and stayed low to the ground. It seemed to embody patience itself. For humans, watching the coyote obliviously trot forward while the predator closed in was both fascinating and unsettling. This was nature at its most primal, a predator perfectly designed to stalk, a prey completely unaware until the final moment. Not every predator-prey encounter ends with violence. Some of the most surprising footage comes from animals who choose not to fight. In the forests of Canada, for example, cameras caught a wolf and a red fox crossing paths. At first glance, it looked like a clash was about to erupt. The wolf stood tall and powerful, the fox smaller but still alert. For a long moment, the two stared at each other. Then, with unexpected calm, both turned away and continued in opposite directions. The forest had no battle that night. Cameras have captured many similar moments: bears walking past deer without chasing, owls ignoring rabbits, or lynxes pausing to watch squirrels instead of striking. These moments reveal that survival in the wild isn't just about aggression, it's also about decisions. Sometimes, the cost of a hunt isn't worth the energy. Sometimes, coexistence is the smarter choice. Among the most incredible discoveries made by hidden cameras was the saola, an antelope-like animal found in Southeast Asia. For years, scientists feared it was extinct. Locals called it the Asian unicorn, because it was so rarely seen that some doubted it existed at all. Then, one night, a camera trap recorded it. The saola stepped into the frame carefully, its long straight horns gleaming faintly in the light. It sniffed the air, its ears twitching at every sound. For a brief minute, it stood in view, before melting back into the forest. That tiny clip became one of the most important pieces of wildlife footage of the decade. It proved that the saola was still alive, still fighting for survival in hidden corners of the forest. It showed that even the rarest of animals had roles to play in the predator-prey balance, as both a grazer and potential prey for larger carnivores. Predator-prey drama can be serious, but not all footage from the forest is grim. Some creatures caught on camera turn the tables with humor and cunning. Raccoons are perhaps the most famous tricksters. In one recording, a raccoon noticed the glow of the infrared camera and walked directly up to it. Standing on two legs, it pawed at the lens as if trying to figure out who was watching. In another, several raccoons worked together to raid a feeder. One acted as lookout while the others reached inside, pulling food out piece by piece. Their teamwork looked almost like a planned heist. Monkeys in tropical forests often show the same cleverness. Cameras have recorded them throwing fruits at other animals, pulling branches down on each other's heads, and even staring curiously into the lens before making faces. These mischievous acts may not be about survival, but they prove that intelligence and playfulness are just as important in the forest as strength or speed. Perhaps no forest predator embodies patience more than the owl. Cameras designed to record at night have revealed extraordinary details about these silent hunters. Owls fly without sound. The structure of their feathers allows them to glide with eerie silence, striking without warning. One camera recorded a snowy owl swooping down onto a clearing, its wings stretched wide as it captured a mouse in the snow. The moment lasted only seconds, but it demonstrated a hunting technique perfected over millions of years. Another video showed a great horned owl waiting motionless on a branch. For nearly 3 hours, it didn't move, its yellow eyes fixed on the ground below. Then, in an instant, it launched forward, claws extended, and snatched its prey with deadly accuracy. These recordings explain why owls are often symbols of mystery and wisdom. They are hunters who turn patience into a weapon, striking not through speed alone but through the perfect use of silence and time. While predators dominate many recordings, prey animals also reveal astonishing survival strategies. A deer caught on camera noticed a wolf creeping closer. Instead of fleeing immediately, it froze, lowering its body and blending into the undergrowth. The wolf passed by, completely unaware. On another occasion, a rabbit zigzagged across a clearing, using unpredictable movements to escape an owl that tried and failed to catch it. Such footage shows that prey are not helpless. They evolve tactics, instincts, and behaviors that make them just as skilled at survival as their hunters. Every successful escape is a reminder that survival is not only about power, it is about awareness, speed, and cunning. Predators and prey define the rhythm of the forest. Every night, in every shadow, this ancient drama plays out. Mountain lions stalk coyotes. Wolves cross paths with foxes and sometimes choose peace. Owls strike with silence. Prey animals escape with clever tricks. And rare species, once thought lost forever, step briefly into view. What cameras reveal is that the forest is not chaos, it is balance. A balance between hunter and hunted, between violence and restraint, between cunning and strength. Every animal, whether predator or prey, plays a role in maintaining this balance. The forest is a place of routines. Animals follow the same trails, feed at the same rivers, and mark the same trees. But every so often, the cameras catch something unexpected, creatures wandering outside their usual homes, rare species thought long gone, or animals with unusual colors and behaviors. These sightings, often brief and fleeting, become treasures. They remind us that the forest is always full of surprises, and that no matter how much we think we know, there is always more waiting to be discovered. In North America, black bears are common, but not all of them are black. Cameras placed deep in the Rockies once captured a cinnamon-colored bear strolling across a meadow. At first glance, it looked like a grizzly, broad-shouldered, heavy-set, and golden brown. But upon closer examination, wildlife experts confirmed it was a rare color phase of the black bear. The footage quickly spread because few people had ever seen such a bear in the wild. Its reddish-brown fur gleamed under the sunlight, setting it apart from the familiar dark coats of its cousins. Some locals believed the sighting to be a good omen. Others simply marveled at the genetic variety hidden in the forests. Even more astonishing was a recording from Sweden, where a camera trap documented a rare white moose. Towering and majestic, the animal stood out like a ghost against the green forest. Its antlers were massive, its coat gleaming almost silver. Unlike albinism, which causes health issues and red eyes, this moose carried a condition known as leucism, which allowed its fur to appear white while maintaining normal eye and skin pigmentation. The video stunned viewers. To see such a massive creature, usually blending into shadows, glowing like a living statue in the woods, felt almost unreal. Locals considered it sacred, a symbol of purity and resilience. For many, it was proof that even in familiar forests, magic still lingers. The Eurasian lynx is one of Europe's most secretive predators. Rarely seen by humans, it moves silently through forests, leaving only paw prints and whispers behind. That's why footage from Poland caused excitement among researchers. A hidden camera recorded a lynx stepping cautiously into view, its thick fur glowing under the nightlight, its tufted ears twitching at every sound. The lynx paused, looked directly into the camera, and then vanished with ghostly grace. For scientists, this wasn't just beautiful, it was proof. The species, once driven to near extinction in parts of Europe, was reclaiming its space. For ordinary viewers, it was a glimpse of an animal many thought belonged only in ancient legends. Sometimes, rare visitors are not rare animals at all, but familiar creatures in unusual places. In one surprising video from Florida, a camera recorded a black bear strolling through a suburban backyard, miles away from deep forest. In another, a moose wandered onto a golf course in Canada, calmly grazing while players stood frozen in awe. Even stranger footage emerged from South America, where a jaguar was caught roaming near human settlements. Jaguars are powerful predators, usually staying far from people. To see one walking calmly past a small farm left many shaken, reminding everyone that the boundaries between human land and wildland are thin, fragile, and constantly shifting. Of all the forest creatures caught on camera, few surprise people more than albinos. In Tennessee, a motion-triggered device recorded an albino raccoon. With glowing white fur and pinkish eyes, it looked like a ghost of the night. Unlike its mischievous dark-masked relatives, this raccoon appeared cautious and solitary, perhaps aware that its unusual color made it more visible to predators. The clip circulated widely, not only because of the animal's rarity but also because of what it symbolized: survival against the odds. Despite its disadvantage, this raccoon had grown strong enough to wander the forest. It stood as proof that resilience can overcome even nature's toughest challenges. Cameras placed in Asian forests have occasionally picked up giants. In one remarkable video, an elephant appeared at night, moving silently like a shadow despite its size. Its massive trunk swung side to side, testing the air, while its ears flapped slowly in the stillness. The camera caught it pausing to drink from a waterhole before disappearing back into the trees. Though elephants are not unusual in Asia, seeing one on a hidden forest camera still feels magical. For local communities, such images reinforce the importance of protecting migration paths and water sources. For viewers, it's simply humbling, a reminder of how immense and gentle these giants can be when undisturbed. Europe's pine marten is small, quick, and notoriously hard to spot. Yet, in Scotland, a camera recorded one exploring a log pile, its long body weaving gracefully between gaps. Then, in a moment of unexpected boldness, the marten climbed directly toward the camera. For a few seconds, its round eyes and sharp whiskers filled the frame, as if it wanted to introduce itself. That playful encounter made headlines not because pine martens are unknown, but because of how rare it is to get such a close, natural view. Usually shy, they vanish at the slightest disturbance. This one seemed curious instead, offering a rare glimpse into its secret world. Not all rare visitors are easily identified. Some recordings show animals that puzzle experts. In Canada, a camera picked up a large dark figure moving through thick forest. Its shape was unclear, its movements slow and heavy. Some insisted it was a bear. Others argued it was too tall, too strange. Similar unexplained footage appears every year from forests across the world. Some clips turn out to be known animals seen from odd angles. Others remain mysteries, fueling speculation about creatures not yet recognized by science. Whether it's simply misidentification or genuine discovery, these moments remind us of how much remains unseen in the forest. Rare visitors are the forest's way of surprising us. They may be unusual color variations, like cinnamon bears or albino raccoons. They may be legendary creatures rediscovered, like the lynx stepping silently into the frame. They may be familiar animals wandering into unfamiliar places, or giants like elephants pausing to drink in the dark. Every one of these recordings proves the same truth: the forest is far larger, stranger, and more mysterious than we can imagine. Cameras only capture fragments, yet those fragments remind us that wonder is still alive.